We Chats with Brilliant People, hosted by Allison Rodies.
Welcome back to We Chats with Brilliant People. So today I am talking to a very brilliant person. She is, and I am here in my mother's kitchen, and we're here in Skelmersdale, which is where we're both from. Nicola Bolton is an old school friend. Yeah. Well, not old, but in days gone by. She is an actress and a choreographer and has been working in the industry for many years and is entirely brilliant and definitely somebody who I wanted on my brilliant list. So welcome to We Chats.
We Chats.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, just have a sip of that. That's good. So, in full disclosure for everybody, I wanted to also say that my mum was one of your, I believe, your first singing teacher.
Yes, she was. Yes. And I think she may have helped me get a few jobs as well
along
the way. Yes, trained me up.
Well done, Mother Pope.
Well done.
Well done. So today I wanted to talk to you about your mental preparation, because you know I'm in sports psychology, performance psychology, and I thought, well, I'm really interested to find out people who are at the top of their game, people who are really good at performing, which you clearly are. You know, you've been doing it for a while. So what kinds of things do you do to get yourself ready for a big performance, let's say?
Okay, well, with a big performance, I will. I talk to myself a lot.
Oh, do you?
When I'm on my own in my car. So I'll go through the entire show in my head. So I will actually verbally say all of the dialogue, because I think my biggest fear is actually forgetting my lines. I think that's every actor's biggest fear. So I'll go through everything in my head. It's a funny one really, because before a first performance, you're very, very nervous, and you have to. Nerves are good, but they need to be used in a positive way. So so what I'll do is I'll get over that first performance, and then after that I'm usually sort of on an even keel really, and it's kind of like a regular sort of performance. You know, it doesn't go up and down. It's sort of a regular thing. So
when you say it doesn't go up and down, what's it?
My performance, I would say. I mean, obviously I'm open to change. I'm not going to sort of just press play and do the same thing every single night, because things, you know, other actors will throw things in, and but I think that you've got to hit a level that's a similar level every night, because you don't want to sort of spook the other actors and spook everybody. So you do sort of do what you've rehearsed, but are open to change as well.
So is an emotional component important in what you do? Like, because I've never been on the stage, so I don't know what it's like to do the same thing over and over again. How is there any kind of emotional component in that?
Well, it depends what play you're doing, really. You know, I mean, I've done a lot of musicals, so you get into it, sort of getting in the zone, really. It's sort of, you know, embracing that character. It's kind of getting rid of everything that's happened to you that day. If you had a bad day, if you're full of a cold, if your voice isn't working really, you've got to just really get that all out of your head, and you've got to just focus on what you're doing. So it's like it should be like putting on a coat, really. Acting, you know, you're putting on that personality and that. So everything that you've rehearsed in the rehearsal room, you've just got to get it on quicker and then go on that stage and do it.
Like putting on a coat, I like that. I've not heard that phrase. Yes, I like that. It's so interesting listening to you talk, because what you're saying is exactly what athletes are saying, you know, when I'm working with them on their performance. How to get yourself ready, you've got to get in that zone. And that's the tricky part, how to get yourself in that place. And for you, you know, if you're in a play or a musical, you're doing the same thing over and over again. You know, give me an idea of how many nights in a row can it be?
Well, I mean, I've done a West End show for a year.
Whoa.
So you've got to do the same, you know, and then you have like 2 weeks holiday, but essentially you're doing the same show every single night of the week.
Yeah.
You know, there will be changes in that, because there will be people's understudies will be on because people are off sick or whatever. So the dynamic does change.
Yeah.
But essentially you're doing the same thing every single night. And I always just think of the people that are watching. That's what gets me through. I think they've paid a lot of money to come and see me.
Yeah.
I know all performers don't think like this, but
that's why you're brilliant, though.
But I just think, well, you know, they have paid. They've probably saved up their, you know, I mean, what is it? A theatre ticket in London now? It's about £80 each. So they've saved up a lot of money, and you know, it's unfair to go out there and give them a half sort of you know, be tired and just yawn or whatever. You know, you've got to give them sort of 100% really. So that's what is my focus. Yeah.
So is there anything else about you, going back to what you said at the beginning about your self-talk? We call it self-talk. So you said that you go over the entire thing, which is amazing to me, that you
in the car,
in the car and on the way to the place. So is there any time that doesn't ever work for you, but then you just get yourself back, get yourself back in the right frame of mind to be in the zone?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it helps. I'll give you an example. I did a play, an Alan Ayckbourn play the other year, and myself and the actor who was playing opposite me, we like to go through all our dialogue together before the show, so I'd meet him, say, on the half, say an hour before the show, and we just run through it. It's just that fear, there's that fear of forgetting, and it's like you jinx yourself almost if you didn't do it. Once you've sort of started doing something like that, you kind of have to, because if the night you don't do it, then you'll just fluff your lines. But that was very wordy, and that was that was quite a conversational piece. That was really difficult, so that's why we like to do that. He wanted to do that as well. But then there are other shows where maybe I haven't got, the focus isn't as much on me, it's more of a group thing, so I don't have to necessarily do all of that work. I don't have to run through it, maybe. It also depends on if I'm doing an accent. It depends on how far the character is away from me. If I'm doing an accent, like I did a play in Bolton the other year, and it was Steel Magnolias. Oh, yeah. So it was a Louisiana sort of accent.
Go on, do a bit.
No, I can. I really can. I just no, it's really gone. It's gone. But I had it, and every day in the car, I would just do those lines, because we had a vocal coach on that as well. Yeah. And you kind of just have to say these sort of sentences, and then you get into it, and you find that you get into it quicker. The more you've done it, as you say, you can switch into it rather than It just like, as I say, it's like putting on a coat. You just go into this sort of, there'll be like a trigger sentence that will get you in there, and you've got, right, that's the character on there. So it just depends on what show you're doing, really. How much beforehand you have to do.
Give me an idea of how much rehearsal time is involved in, I don't know, any show that you're doing.
Yeah, generally, because I do a lot of repertory theatre now, so I do things that, a short contract, so it will be 3 weeks rehearsal in a rehearsal room, then a week tech, so that's on stage with the sets and costumes for the first time, and then it opens at the end of that week, so it's literally 4 weeks rehearsal, which isn't a lot really. And I don't ever learn the script before, because it changes sometimes. I'm not, if it's a Shakespeare it won't change, but they will cut it, so I don't like to learn, I don't like for it to go in completely.
I'm wondering if you really make the most of that little buzz you get, almost, from what you're saying. Like, you don't like to learn it ahead of time because it might change, but at the same time there's almost like a danger element, and that, I don't know if you've ever thought about it like that, but it's almost like if you don't have that, your adrenaline won't be there, and you won't actually do a good job.
That's correct, yeah, you need the nerves, you definitely need the nerves, you need to sort of use them, harness them, grab them and sort of steer them. Grab them.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the same with sport performers, and we're talking to them about harnessing those nerves. Do you ever think of nerves in a different way? Do you ever call them anything else, or you always call them nerves?
No, I always call them nerves, because that's just what it is. That sort of feeling in the pit of your stomach when you're sort of, you're wobbly and your heart rate goes up. And, it's that fear. It's fear of the unknown. It's always the first night for me of a show, because it's the first time you've done it in front of an audience. So it's an unknown. Once you've done that and you know where the laughs are going to go, sort of say it's a comedy or whatever, then you can, because often you'll find on a first night of a show, because you're not used to having an audience, you'll carry on talking through the laughter, whereas you need to let the audience just relax a bit. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I like all that. So, have you ever, I use the phrase sometimes, riding the waves, when things are not going as well. Maybe you get up in the morning, you've either got a cold or you feel a bit fed up, which happens to us all. So, you ever you ever feel like you're riding the waves and waves go up and down? What do you do when you're not feeling great? How do you help yourself get back?
I think it's just because you've done all that prep in the rehearsal room, so you've done all of that and you know the level that you need to pitch it at, so it's all done before. So if you're not well, and you haven't got an understudy, you can't go off. You've just got to do it. So you've got to tell yourself you've got to go on. I mean, I did a show the other year, tour, and my voice really was gone, and there was nobody to go on for me, and I just had to talk to the sound technician and say, look, I'm going to do this. You talk it through with everybody else. Maybe you cut a couple of songs, maybe, and sort of just have to get through it really. And just tell yourself it's fine, you know, just talk to yourself again. Like, I sound like I'm a nutter.
That's exactly what performers are saying over and over again. You know, that self-talk's really important. Yeah. You might not want to do it when you're going around the shops, you know, round Asda.
I mean, I even do it in the house, but say, but I've got to do this today and I've got to do that, and I write lists. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm a list person because I forget things. I've got so many things going on in my life because I've got children, and so I'm trying to, you know, get them to the rugby lessons and, you know, dance lessons and all the rest of it, but I do still have to find time for myself to focus on my career, which is kind of hard. And but I do talk to myself.
It is important for your career though too, you know. I feel it's important that you make sure that, because I'm not a mum, but I think that you're probably a better mum by doing some of the things.
Do you know, I absolutely love working. At the minute, I haven't really worked this year. I did an advert which has been on, so I'm still getting paid, but I've not actually physically worked this year, and I absolutely hate it. It's just, I'm much happier when I'm working. I don't like, you know, not working at all, really. I mean, I'm actually going up for something tomorrow, which is a nice job, like a ballroom dancing, so I'm like frantically watching YouTube. It's like, can you choreograph? Like, yeah. I'm like, no, I've never done ballroom dancing, but I know I'll pick it up. So you just have to sometimes say yes, I can do, you know, say yes to everything really, because someone will say yes and they can't do it, so you have to really, and you know your own abilities.
But you know that you're going to be brilliant once you put your mind to it. And see, I think that's one of the differences between people who are okay and people who are brilliant. You know, not everybody is making it onto this list.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So you've made it to a certain level and you know what you can do. You have that fear element, but I think that's what keeps you going. That's what keeps your performances going.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, the other thing to say is when you'll go for an audition as well, or an interview, that's an interesting down, because you're in your car and you're going, right, I've done this and this, and you're building yourself up to go in and be confident, because if you haven't performed for a bit, or you haven't been for an interview for say a month, or I lack a bit of confidence. I have to really, get in the zone for an interview and almost play, and also like it's almost like playing a part.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one last thing that I wanted to do is, if you don't mind, would you mind answering my questions?
Go on, that's fine.
I have 5 little questions at the end that I ask everybody, so I always start with the first one.
Okay.
I always start with the same one.
It's always good to start with the first one.
Start with the first one. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you try to do tomorrow?
I'd probably set up a theatre company.
Ooh! Champagne or a cup of tea?
Cup of tea.
Nice. Cheers.
Cheers.
Pets or no pets?
Pets, for definite, yeah.
Do you have any?
Yeah, we have 2 guinea pigs called Darwin and Blaster. These are characters off, they are guinea pigs in an animated Disney film called...
Of course they are.
I can't remember what it is. My children named them. And we have a rabbit called Nibbles, who's only acquired last week, and he's that big.
Oh,
he's very gorgeous, so yeah, that's at the minute, but I think we'll work it up to a dog.
Good. Go for it. What's one film you can watch over and over again?
Grease.
Brilliant. And is there any food that you can't eat?
I don't like roll mops.
I don't know what a roll mop is.
It's a herring, pickled herring.
Oh.
Like a sort of, well, we've got quite a few Danish friends, and there's sort of raw fish rolled up in vinegar.
Not your favourite?
No, don't like that.
Well, thank you very much, Nicola Bolton, for being on my list of brilliant people. It's been so much fun, and so much fun to see you again.
Yes.
And we have birthdays very close together
do.
as well, so Leo's united. Yay. Well, thanks very much anyway.
Oh, you're welcome. Cheers.
Thanks everyone. Join us again next time for We Chats with Brilliant People. Ta-ra!